Have you ever looked back on an event in your life, perhaps a missed opportunity, a failure, or even an unexpected heartbreak, and asked yourself, what if things had gone differently? Many of us might chalk it up to fate, finding comfort in the idea that life is wrapped in elements of destiny, as if everything happens for a purpose. But is that always true? Let me share with you an ancient Chinese tale, now encapsulated in the concept of the Nova effect, which originates from a thought experiment about life's unexpected consequences. An old man living near the border owned a horse. One day, the horse ran away. Relatives and friends came to visit, offering their condolences, seeing it as a stroke of bad luck. But the old man simply smiled and said, "Losing the horse might actually be a good thing." A few months later, the horse returned, bringing with it a magnificent stallion from afar. Friends and family gathered to admire the new horse and congratulate him. But the old man furrowed his brow and said, "Gaining an extra horse out of nowhere might not be such a good thing." Since acquiring the stallion, the old man's son grew fond of riding it. One day, however, he fell from the horse and broke his leg. Villagers came by to express their sympathy, but the old man remained unfazed and said, "My son breaking his leg might turn out to be a blessing in disguise." Not long after, war broke out at the border. All able-bodied young men were conscripted to fight. The enemy was fierce, and of every 10 men set to the battlefield, 9 perished. The old man's son, unable to serve due to his injury, was spared and survived. This story captures the essence of the Nova effect, the idea that what seems like a blessing or a curse in the moment often turns out to be neither. Life's events ripple outward in ways we cannot predict or control, creating consequences we could never have imagined. And this brings us to a profound question. Does life have meaning, or do we just assign it meaning after the fact? Think about your own life. How many times has something you thought was bad turned out to be a blessing in disguise, or vice versa? A breakup that led to personal growth? A failure that opened the door to a better opportunity? A chance encounter that changed everything? Were these events part of some grand design, or were they just random occurrences that you later wove into your personal narrative? Today, we delve into the Nova effect, a profound thought experiment that challenges our understanding of fate, free will, and the meaning of life. By exploring this concept, we uncover how seemingly random events in life ripple outward, creating consequences beyond our imagination. Through philosophy and storytelling, you'll discover that the narratives we craft about these events are what ultimately shape our reality. Could it be that, to some extent, the meaning of life isn't predetermined, but is instead created through the way we choose to face and respond to it? If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay updated with our latest videos on spiritual topics, inner awakening, and philosophical insights. For centuries, philosophers have grappled with the question of whether life is governed by fate or free will. On one side stands determinism, the belief that everything happens for a reason, with each event being the inevitable consequence of something else. Under this view, life is like a chain of dominoes, with every action and outcome predetermined by the ones before it. On the other side is existentialism, which contends that life has no inherent meaning. Any significance it holds is created by us. Yet, what if the truth lies somewhere in between? What if life isn't entirely random or predetermined, but a dynamic interplay, a chaotic dance of cause and effect influenced by both chance and choice? Consider the stories we tell ourselves about the events in our lives. When something happens, whether joyful, painful, or somewhere in between, we instinctively try to make sense of it. We say, "This was meant to be," or "If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here today." It feels natural to believe in a hidden order behind the chaos, some narrative that ties it all together. But is this belief grounded in truth, or is it a comforting illusion? This is where the Nova effect challenges us. It introduces a profound truth. Life doesn't follow a simple linear path. Every event, every decision, every fleeting moment ripples outward, influencing outcomes in ways we could never foresee. What seems like a blessing today might unravel into disaster tomorrow, and what feels like a devastating loss might pave the way for something extraordinary. The Nova effect pushes us further. asking a hard question: can we ever truly know if an event is good or bad in the moment? This idea shakes two core beliefs that many hold dear: the belief in fate and the belief in absolute free will. We often like to think that everything happens for a reason, that there's a grand design guiding our steps. This belief offers comfort, suggesting that the pain we endure, the mistakes we make, and the chances we miss are all pieces of a larger plan. But the Nova effect disrupts this notion. It reminds us that life's outcomes are far too intricate and interconnected to be the result of a single predetermined script. Imagine this: a failed business venture leads someone to reassess their goals, sparking a journey that ultimately brings them greater fulfillment than they ever thought possible. Conversely, a windfall of good fortune might lead to complacency, squandering opportunities for growth. These ripples of cause and effect, shaped by both chance and our responses, highlight the unpredictability of life. Ultimately, the Nova effect is not about embracing chaos for its own sake. It's about finding resilience and meaning amid uncertainty. By understanding that life is neither fully random nor entirely scripted, we can redefine how we see setbacks, growth, and purpose. Instead of searching for reasons behind every twist and turn, perhaps the real meaning lies in how we respond, how we choose to create, rebuild, and move forward in the face of life's unpredictability. Think back to the story we mentioned at the beginning. If his son hadn't broken his leg, he might have died in the war. But none of these events were meant to happen. They were simply the result of countless intersecting causes and effects, most of which were entirely out of anyone's control. And yet there's something deeply unsettling about rejecting fate altogether. If life is truly random, if everything is just a chaotic mess of cause and effect, then where does that leave us? Are we just spinning through the universe without purpose, without direction, without meaning? This is where the idea of free will becomes so important. But free will, too, is more complicated than it seems. You might think, I make my own choices, I'm in control of my life. And to some extent, that's true. You decide what to pursue, what to let go of, what risks to take. But how much of your decision-making is influenced by factors outside your control? Your upbringing, your circumstances, your biology, the random events that shaped your past. The Nova effect reminds us that even our choices are part of the chaotic dance of life. You didn't choose for Nova to run away, but you did choose how to respond. You didn't choose for your son to break his leg, but you did choose how to adapt. The truth, perhaps, lies somewhere in between. The Nova effect doesn't deny free will, but it does challenge us to think differently about what free will actually means. It's not about controlling every aspect of your life. That's impossible. It's about how you respond to the chaos. It's about recognizing that while you can't control the ripples, you can decide how to navigate them. In a way, this is liberating. If life isn't a fixed script, then you're not bound by any single path. You're free to adapt, to grow, to find meaning in even the most unexpected circumstances. But this freedom comes with a responsibility, the responsibility to create your own narrative, to decide for yourself what everything means. Think about this for a moment. What is the difference between a setback and an opportunity, between a tragedy and a lesson, between failure and growth? The answer is simple: perspective. The way we interpret events shapes our reality more than the events themselves. And this is where the Nova effect becomes more than just a thought experiment. It becomes a way of understanding life. The Nova effect reveals a striking reality. Life is neither inherently good nor bad, meaningful nor meaningless. It simply is. Events unfold one after another like ripples on a pond, spreading in unpredictable ways. As humans, however, we are wired to seek patterns, to impose meaning on chaos. We craft stories to make sense of our experiences, to find order amidst disorder, to assign meaning to the randomness. But here's the twist: the stories we tell ourselves are not always true. How often have you revisited a moment in your life and realized it was entirely different from what you thought at the time? Perhaps a breakup felt like the end of the world, but in hindsight, it became the turning point for personal growth or a new relationship. Maybe you achieved a long-desired goal, believing it would bring happiness, only to feel empty and lost once you arrived. The Nova effect reminds us that our initial interpretations are often incomplete. What feels like a definitive good or bad moment is rarely the whole story. It's merely one chapter in an unfolding narrative that's still being written. When you let go of the need for certainty, you unlock something profound: possibility. Suddenly, the most painful experiences can become stepping stones for growth. The most chaotic events can hold unexpected meaning, but only if you choose to create that meaning. Imagine looking back on your life from a distant future. What if you could see every heartbreak, every failure, and every triumph as part of a greater pattern? A web of interconnected moments that shaped you into the person you are. Wouldn't that reframe the way you view your current struggles? The beauty of the Nova Effect lies in its invitation to embrace uncertainty. It's not about denying the pain or celebrating the chaos for its own sake. Instead, it's about recognizing that life's meaning doesn't exist inherently in events themselves. It's something we construct through our responses. The messy, unpredictable moments are not barriers. They're opportunities to grow, adapt, and rewrite the story we tell ourselves. So, the next time you face a setback or a triumph, pause. Consider that it might not be what it seems. Life is a series of ripples, and you get to decide how to navigate them. What story will you choose to tell? The Nova Effect teaches us a powerful truth. While we can't control what happens in life, we can control how we respond. Each event, no matter how painful, joyous, or unexpected, carries the potential to shape us in profound ways. It's not the event itself that defines us, but the meaning we choose to assign to it and the way we let it transform us. This is where our true power lies. Imagine this. A setback that feels devastating in the moment might later reveal itself as the catalyst for growth or a new opportunity. A triumph that seems like the pinnacle of success could eventually lead to challenges that refine your character. When you embrace the idea that every moment, no matter how small, is part of a much larger, interconnected story, you begin to see the freedom in uncertainty. Life's chaos isn't just random, it's a canvas on which you can paint your own meaning. The Nova Effect reminds us that everything can happen for a reason, not because of fate, divine intervention, or a preordained plan, but because we have the ability to create that reason. When life throws you an unexpected twist, consider this. Even if you can't see the full picture, that doesn't mean it's not there. Every ripple, every twist, and every turn is shaping a narrative that's still unfolding. So the next time life surprises you, whether with joy or pain, pause, reflect. Remember that you have the power to decide how this moment fits into your story. You can't control the waves, but you can choose how to navigate them. The story is yours to tell. What meaning will you create? Let's close with a question. If you could see your life as a masterpiece in progress, with every brushstroke, every joy, every sorrow, every failure contributing to its beauty, how would you live differently today? This is the essence of the Nova Effect. It's not just a way to explain why things happen. It's an invitation to approach life with intention, resilience, and the courage to embrace the unknown. Imagine each moment, no matter how small or challenging, as a vital part of a larger, evolving canvas. The setbacks, they add depth. The triumphs, they bring light. The chaos, it creates texture. Together, they form the unique story of who you are becoming. The Nova Effect asks us to stop seeking certainty and start creating meaning. It challenges us to respond to life's unpredictability, not with fear, but with purpose and curiosity. So today, as you face life's twists and turns, remember this: you hold the brush. How will you shape your masterpiece? Thank you for watching. If you learned something from this video, please like, subscribe to the Top Hidden Knowledge channel for more content on wisdom, spirituality, and personal growth. Or, if you have time, check out other videos on this channel. Until next time,